So recently I got quite into coffee. Basically, we had our old Nespresso machine, which was going to die, like the last, 6 or 7 that we've had. And instead of buying another one, I thought I would get something that is at least capable of making really good coffee, as opposed to investing once again in guaranteed mediocrity. I mean, I'd love one of these, but I can't afford it. Anyway, it's a bit of an insane leap, isn't it, from this to this? So, I did a load of research, and the cheapest one, by a long way, is this little Delonghi. It's all manual, everything's manual, it's just a single little boiler, and it's only like about 90 quid, which is pretty amazing, really, because it is capable of making really good espresso. Now, to be clear, I don't know what the hell I'm doing. I am looking up vlogs on YouTube and Reddit and, disappearing down every available rabbit hole every 5 minutes. And there's loads of things that can affect how espresso is, like temperature and pressure and so on, which you could change on one of these, but you can't change it on this because, it's 90 quid. So what do you expect? Don't be ridiculous. The one thing you can control easily and cheaply is weight. So suddenly I'm weighing stuff like a maniac. I'm just a weighing loon. The ideal apparently is about 2 to 1 or like 2.5 to 1. So if you put 16 grams of coffee in, you want about between 32 and 40 grams of espresso out. 32 if you're being super precise. And believe me, coffee water into precise. Now, one of the problems with this little machine is the gap between the portafilter and the drip tray is actually quite small, so getting a cup and a set of scales in there is actually quite difficult, if not impossible. So you have to remove the drip tray to get the scales in, which is a massive faff and basically means that coffee goes everywhere except the drip tray. And I just thought there'd be a much easier way to do it, to have scales that were in there all the time so you could use it pretty much every time. So I thought, there's a load of room in this thing under the drip tray. There's plenty enough room to put scales in so that the drip tray effectively becomes the scales. So I thought, I'm going to do it. I'm going to cut a hole in it. God damn it. There's these funny little screws, which are kind of safety screws, which I guess because they really don't want you to take the bottom off. It's like a hex screw with a little nub on it to stop you putting a hex screwdriver in there. But actually, you can get a little electric screwdriver, it just bypasses it, it's absolutely fine. There's obviously a thing on the back that's telling you not to take the back off. There are no user serviceable parts and it will invalidate your warranty, but I kind of thought, I'm kind of holding it. I think the warranty is dead. So, that's fine. I just used the jigsaw, it was absolutely fine. Cut through this stuff really well. If you attack it too much, it will crack the plastic. So I just went really slow and it was fine. So when I got the scales in there, one of the problems I had was getting the drip tray to balance on the scales itself and not be half on, half off. So then you get an inaccurate reading. And I tried loads of ways to try and compensate for this, and eventually I hit upon this idea of getting some little tiny magnets. So the top of this scale is actually made of glass, but obviously underneath there's a bit of steel, and that is enough to attract the magnets. And this is an old bookend actually, that I just cut in half, which is about the right size, and it effectively extends the top of the scales so that there isn't a kind of seesaw effect and everything on it is weighed properly by the scales. So now the whole of the drip tray is effectively the top of the scales, and you can tile it back to nothing. I tested it with 20 pence pieces, which it turns out weigh exactly 5 grams. And it's pretty good. And as you turn it on, actually, the vibrations trick it into thinking there's actually weight going in there, but only a very tiny amount, sort of fractions of a gram. And then when the liquid starts to hit it, it starts to build up. And yes, I know there is some spraying and spitting here and some missing. All of which are signs of channeling. Right, exactly. And trying to weigh it accurately is part of me trying to figure out what's wrong with it, which is all kind of part of the fun of coffee geekery. And you can see this is not bad. I mean, it's not exactly 1 to 2, and it's not exactly 30 seconds, but it's not bad. It's really not bad. And it is easy enough to use every time.